An unidentified interstellar object that astronomers discovered last week could be the oldest comet ever seen. We've only done it 3 times before, actually detected an object that has come from beyond our solar system. This is the first we saw of it, an enigmatic object in interstellar space. It is only the 3rd time that we found an object that has arrived from outside our solar system. Our solar system was entered by something and it shouldn't exist. It defied physics, had no apparent means of propulsion, and originated in deep interstellar space. Some called it a comet. Others say it's alien technology. Its name is Oumuamua, the first object ever seen from another star system. In this video, we'll show you its bizarre behavior, heated scientific debates, and real missions now being planned to chase it across the stars. Because what we don't know might change everything. In October 2017, astronomers in Hawaii, looking through telescopes, noticed something strange. A long black object was whizzing by our solar system more quickly than anything ever before. It wasn't orbiting the sun, wasn't following the rules, it was simply passing through. And by the time we realized it was there, it was already leaving. Its name, Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning scout or messenger from afar. A fitting moniker given that this was not just any rock. It was the first confirmed interstellar object ever detected in our solar system. It didn't behave like a comet. It didn't appear to be an asteroid. It even, at one point, accelerated all by itself. Was it natural? Was it manufactured? Could it be alien? We will explore other mysterious space objects similar to it and the bold plans to carry out a mission across the galaxy to capture it. Because whatever it wasn't from here. And it may not be the last dot. We often imagine our solar system as a peaceful, isolated bubble peacefully circling the sun, far from any chaos outside. But in reality, we're just one tiny system drifting through a galaxy teeming with debris, comets, and mysterious interstellar objects. We are surrounded by space, far beyond Neptune, a frozen frontier called the Oort cloud, a vast shell of icy bodies that could stretch nearly a light year from the sun. Give it some thought. It's so far away, it might be closer to some stars than to us. Scientists believe that trillions of comets live in this profound freeze. The majority spend millions of years just floating in silence. But every now and then, something pushes them. A nearby star passes by. A gravitational ripple from the galaxy jolts the cloud. And suddenly, one of these ancient bodies is flung inward, fast approaching the inner solar system or thrown out, becoming an isolated traveler through space between stars. And not just us either. Every star in the universe probably has its own version of an Oort cloud, with objects constantly escaping their home systems, passing through the universe like cosmic messages in a bottle. In fact, some researchers estimate that approximately 10,000 interstellar objects might pass through our solar system each and every day. Yet they are small, swift, and dark. Therefore, we only saw them once. In 2017 we did. And what we saw changed everything. Let's examine more closely what astronomers saw when Oumuamua first arrived and why it immediately shattered everything we thought we knew. On October 19, 2017, at the Halea Club Observatory in Hawaii, a telescope named Pan-STARRS picked up strange information. It looked like a faint point of light moving too quickly. At first, astronomers considered it to be just another comet. So they gave it the name C-2017-U1. But there was something off. There was no coma, no tail, and none of the fuzzy glowing features we expect from a comet heating up near the sun. So they reclassified it as an asteroid, calling it a 2017 U1. Then they performed the math. They mapped out its course, and that's when jaws began to drop. This object was not from here. Its path through space was hyperbolic, an open curve. Not a closed orbit, which means it was not going around the sun, it was briefly passing through. It came from the stars. It was the first confirmed interstellar object ever observed in our solar system. With that realization, it was rebranded as Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word that means scout or messenger from afar. a name that seemed oddly appropriate. But things only got weirder. Oumuamua did not resemble any space rock we had seen before. As it spun through space, its brightness flickered fast and dramatically every 7 hours. That suggested an unusual shape, possibly a long cigar-like body or a pancake-like flat disk. It was more than spinning. It was tumbling out of control, like a stick thrown into the air. And its exterior. Some observations suggested it was 10 times more reflective than typical asteroids, possibly made of metal or covered in a shiny crust hardened by eons of interstellar travel. So now we had a mysterious object that moved quickly with no tail, a bizarre shape, a reflective surface, and it was external to our solar system. However, the most shocking aspect of this story had barely begun. What it did next left the world's brightest minds speechless and forced. Some to inquire whether this object was artificial. As Oumuamua strayed from the sun, astronomers expected it to slow down, just like every other object influenced by gravity. That's essential physics. There's no mystery here, yet that's not what took place. Instead, Oumuamua accelerated. It accelerated. No engines, no visible outgassing, nothing detectable, just a silent, steady boost in speed as if something was pushing it from behind. Let's be clear, this wasn't some powerful rocket explosion. The speeding up was subtle, about 17 millimeters per second squared. But genuinely measurable, and it defied all known justification. Astronomers immediately went with the most logical culprit. Perhaps Oumuamua was a comet after all. Maybe it released gas jets as it got close to the sun, and that gave it the tiny push. But there was a problem. There was no visible coma, no tail, no trace of dust, no light. And when the Spitzer Space Telescope, one of our most sensitive infrared observatories, spent 30 hours observing Oumuamua, it detected nothing. No gas, no heat, nothing to imply that it was venting material. And yet, it continued to accelerate. It was as if something invisible was propelling this thing through space. Some researchers thought it might be a comet with extremely clean, invisible gases, like pristine hydrogen. Others speculated it could be reflecting sunlight in a unique way that helped it move even more. But none of the standard explanations fit all the information. That's when one Harvard scientist presented a novel idea, one that would ignite controversy all over the scientific community and make headlines worldwide. When the conventional explanations started to fall apart, one scientist decided to say what others were just whispering. Avi Loeb, a Harvard astrophysicist, wrote a paper suggesting something bold and extremely contentious. Oumuamua, he argued, might not be natural at all. It might be alien technology. According to Loeb, if Oumuamua was very thin, less than a millimeter thick, it could act as a light sail. A propulsion system that makes use of ... This version corrects punctuation errors, adds missing punctuation, and ensures consistency while preserving the original meaning and structure of the text. Let me know if you'd like further refinements. Radiation and pressure allow a star to traverse space. Think about it, riding the star's light like a cosmic surfboard. He pointed out that the object was unusually shaped, was accelerating without visible thrust, and it was very reflective, so it could be metallic. Loeb thought this might be deliberately designed and sent by a scout, an advanced civilization, a messenger, or even a relic, perhaps. The scientific community naturally resisted with force. Daryl Seligman appeared, a researcher who was not postdoctoral and not swayed by the alien concept. He instead proposed a more grounded but exotic justification. What if Oumuamua was made of pure hydrogen ice? Nitrogen is inaccessible in space and incapable of leaving an observable trail. When the sun warmed it up, it could fire gas jets without our involvement, making them invisible. A neat, natural explanation. But again, problems arose. Loeb responded by mathematically demonstrating that the hydrogen ice would eventually melt away, even in the chillest regions of space. Therefore, Seligman altered his theory once more, working with Jennifer Bergner, a professor of chemistry, to suggest that hydrogen pockets might be entangled within water ice. They based this on real lab experiments under extreme radiation. Ice can store hydrogen and, when heated, release it. Oumuamua, in their brand new theory, was not a comet, asteroid, or alien craft. It was something completely novel, a gloomy comet, one without a tail, with invisible outgassing and no dust, a hidden force in its own category. But Loeb was not finished. He doubled down, writing more papers accusing critics of flawed math, and remaining true to his belief that explanations were stretching too far and that the alien theory, although extraordinary, best reflected the facts. And that is the current state of affairs, a scientific deadlock between two distinct perspectives on the same event. One asserts nature can still surprise us. The other dares to ask, what if we were visited? And despite how wild that may sound, there are additional objects that behave just as strangely. So what if Oumuamua is not alone? Let's examine the other mysterious interstellar visitors that have passed through our solar system and what they might reveal. Although Oumuamua was the first, it wasn't the last. Just 2 years later, in 2019, another interstellar object entered our solar system. It was referred to as 2I Borisov, after the amateur astronomer who made the discovery. Unlike Oumuamua, Borisov appeared more familiar. It had a tail, was in a coma, and acted like a typical comet. It wasn't mysterious due to its movement, but due to the materials it was made of. Its composition was strange. It contained more carbon monoxide than almost any other comet we have ever seen, and the materials did not correspond to those typical in our star system. It was like opening a relic from a different star's time capsule, completely different chemical makeup. Proof that other solar systems build very distinct worlds and discard them into space like ours. But the narrative continues. There are additional odd objects already in our solar system, not merely passing through. They may have been captured. Take, for example, C1908E1. It came too close to our solar system during its final orbit around Jupiter and was slingshotted out. Now it's on a one-way trip to interstellar space. The contrary has also occurred. Some objects might have arrived from other stars, slowed down, and been ensnared by Jupiter's gravity. Astronomers believe Hayabusa and Makemake 1C 1996b are interstellar comets captured based on their strange orbits and peculiar chemical signatures. Then there are the farthest asteroids, like 514,107 Kueapioca Awela. Shares Jupiter's orbit but moves in the opposite direction, a retrograde behavior that is unnatural. Might it be a fossil from a different star system? It's possible, but what if we went beyond observing these cosmic visitors from afar? What if we could locate and pursue one, accessing its secrets directly? Scientists are doing exactly that right now, preparing for a mission unlike any other. By the time scientists discovered Oumuamua, it had already traveled 33 million kilometers, fading and moving too fast into the shadows. We watched it slip through our fingers. But what if that could be changed? What if we could catch up with the first visitor from another star system? Project Lyra, a bold initiative from the Initiative for Interstellar Studies, believes we can. Their mission is simple in concept, but nearly impossible to carry out. Develop a spacecraft that could catch up with Oumuamua. Despite it being billions of kilometers ahead, scientists are contemplating two possible trajectories. The first strategy involves launching a satellite from Earth, then using Jupiter's gravity to sling it toward the Sun at its closest point, just before the Sun's heat melts it to shreds. The craft would then fire its engines in a maneuver called the solar oberth technique. As a result, it gains a huge increase in speed, propelling it out of the solar system at speeds exceeding 70 kilometers per second, enough to catch Oumuamua. But there's a problem. The Sun's close proximity requires protection from extreme heat. like that used by NASA on the Parker Solar Probe, and getting there would take decades. The second option skips the Sun entirely. It uses multiple gravity assists from Venus, Earth, and Jupiter to launch the spacecraft in the direction of Oumuamua. This is slower than the Oberth maneuver, but safer and easier to control, allowing acceleration when it reaches the target essential for obtaining actual data. Project Lyra estimates a launch window between 2030 and 2033, with arrival by 2048. Yes, that's more than 20 years away. For the first time, humanity would send a probe outside the solar system to search for something not of our own, a new telescope. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory will be operational in 2025. It will monitor the night sky, building the most detailed map of the cosmos we've ever had. Scientists think it could detect up to 70 objects resembling Oumuamua each year. The Comet Interceptor mission, planned to begin in 2029, will lie dormant in space, ready to snare a new comet or interstellar object. The target is still a mystery. It's the first mission ever designed for a cosmic delight. These instruments may transform our ability to study messengers from other star systems and, just maybe, catch the next one before it escapes. Oumuamua reminded us of something we frequently overlook. We aren't alone in the universe. Perhaps not in the way sci-fi imagines, but in the sense that the cosmos is alive, moving and constantly communicating with us. The only question is whether we are prepared to catch them again, because if we wait too long, we might miss the truth again. And if you thought this was amazing, wait until you see what's coming next. Select the subsequent video. It will make you doubt everything you thought you knew about space.